I have a couple tips if you're going to be working with guar gum to thicken your paint. If you are working with really hot paint or dye that you're going to thicken, then you don't need to pre-dissolve your guar gum, but I'm usually not, so I usually do pre-dissolve it. And it can be a little finicky to figure out when you first start. So I always mix my powdered guar gum into the hot water. If you pour the hot water on top of the guar gum, it gets lumpy, even if you have a whisk. So I'm gonna be using about 2 tablespoons of water and about 1/8 teaspoon of guar gum. And you wanna mix your guar gum right before mixing it into your paint, because it's gonna keep congealing and it's gonna cool down, and it's gonna be very difficult to incorporate it into your paint once it's cool. So I have this little whisk, or you could just use a spoon or a fork, especially if your water is hot enough. And I'm getting just a small amount of guar gum right into my hot water and just whisking it right away. And you'll see that it immediately thickens. And like I said, it keeps thickening. So you might be tempted to add more, but you don't really need to. And so now it's this kind of gelatinous paste, gel, goo. Okay, and now what I do is I take a small amount of that and add it right into my paint. And it's really helpful if your paint is warm, but you know, my projects take days, so it's not the case. Okay, and then you can kind of look and see if it's too runny still, just add more. I'm going to be painting these sweet little socks, so I'm going to have to stretch them quite a bit, because when they stretch, I want to be able to keep the design. It's always kind of a challenge with socks, especially when you're eco printing them. Same thing with painting. So you can see that I've significantly stretched these to paint on them. And if you don't feel comfortable stretching socks as much, you don't have to paint socks. But using an embroidery hoop to keep your fabric taut is another option for painting.